Yeah, okay. I suppose. Well, I mean, is this the pistol round, or have I lost my mind? Let's go ahead and give it over to the commentators, because it appears as though Complexity find themselves in a real pickle there within the pistol round. We're going to go ahead and give it over to them, and it's going to be the Renegades kicking us off with a Fury.
Yeah, straight into it. Renegades take that pistol round instantaneously almost. It's like it just happened.
Yeah, honestly. Well, I mean, we came in at the end of it there. Not really much for me to really commentate on. It did look like Complexity was aiming towards that lower bomb site, Dallas, to actually make something happen for themselves. Renegades was able to defend off that, so they're going to start this off 1-0.
Okay, and if we were led to believe, this is Complexity's map pick, and they were predicting that they were going to take their own choices here. So let's see if that ends up playing out as to what our analysts had to say about that. Complexity do go in for the force buy on this second round. Head armor, Deagles included, a couple CZs in there with some automatic fire to be able to support these guys, but those CZs, unless you're at point-blank range, aren't going to be your heavy hitters. Coming down into these lower halls, though, you can get into those point-blank fights.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get dangerous here for the Renegade side. Asa now towards this lower by the decontamination area, as well as Liaz backing him up. They've got a little bit of a crossfire situation going on, and Liaz making that initial contact is able to take down Sick, and he's going to go into passive mode.
Yeah, it's pretty smart, too. He's going to find a third as well. So, yes, there was armor. There was head armor for a couple of those players, but now they're starting to get a little bit too wounded for the wear, and ends up a perfect round for Renegades, especially 4K for Liaz, all on that UMP. I think a sidearm was in there for 1 kill, but he's made boatloads of cash. $5,800 for him to start this game right off.
Yeah, he starts off that round with a great kill on an overextending Complexity player just on the edge of that smoke, and then he goes to fall back, but Complexity actually pressed the issue, and that's where Aza's actually able to get involved at the same time. But you're going to see Liaz hitting some great shots with that UMP to actually throw the round into Renegade's favor.
Well, everybody played that round as you would have hoped. Complexity just, once they realized it was contact, run right at him, try and get that kill as quickly as you could, but Liaz falling back, it's difficult to track him through those halls. He's able to post up and continue to reset himself. So now the Renegades have an easier opportunity now. Unarmored targets for Complexity. They try to squeak out here through the door, but the smoke wasn't deep enough to be able to give them enough cover. 4 kills quickly for the Renegades, and if they continue to make and mount these rounds that are perfect without any casualties, they can now really think about how do they want to approach this next round. They have tons of money. They could actually go and just fortify themselves, get rid of the UMPs, get rid of the MP7, and go into a full rifle set, and you'd still have money to sit on after that.
Yeah, even in this situation, I mean, looking for that AWP right off the bat doesn't necessarily mean it's going to find them success. So Renegades right now are going to keep those UMPs, those SMGs in their hands here. And what that's going to do is going to give them an opportunity to just pick up a nice clean gun round off Complexity. Even if they lose 3 or 4 members in this, it would still be massive, as they're not really investing too much into this round to find success.
Yeah, that's the other route. You could take the high road or the low road. They choose to take the low road in this case. They try and win a round doing more with less, take the rifles out of Complexity's hand, and double down and be able to keep that economy just going on the up and up. Because if you don't have to buy the rifles, you're expecting to have a couple casualties here, so I expect some Renegades, the money start tank a bit. But Complexity needs to get things done right now. Their first 3 rounds were so lackluster that they actually have to win 2 in a row to be able to break Renegades' money.
And to start this round, as we near the minute mark, Complexity really haven't pressured outside too much. They've poked, they've prodded, they've gained a little bit of space, as you are seeing Shazam looking into towards that big garage. But it does look like they want to set something up maybe towards this mini area, as it does look like they are going to drop a couple smokes towards outside, maybe even head down towards that lower bomb site.
Yeah, flashbang out towards the backside. That's going to blind a player that was up towards heaven if they were to be there. But right now, Complexity are fighting an apparition. They've used a lot of utility to come outside, and they're just now using these smokes to get down into the secret stairs, similar to what they had done in the previous couple rounds. Ye is going to be your extra player. He's over towards the ramp room, so they're going to try and pinch onto this lower site, but you suddenly lost the left side of the pincer. Smoothie was just playing contact here, and look at this.
Huge.
Nice Molotov dropped, and Def tried to push ahead of that one. Instead, he cuts the head off the snake, and suddenly it's a 5v3. The utility's perfect for Renegades. Now they got the clock to your favor, too.
Yeah, great flashbang by Smoothie. Now all he has to do is go into passive mode. Might even find one more here. He does. Sick trades it out, but now it's Asa towards the silo with 10 seconds left, looking to defend the bomb site.
He could just play contact, make him come down to the site and think about planting the bomb. Sick does pull him down, but it's going to be traded back, leaving only Shazam with a handful of seconds, disconnected from the bomb, no way to get back down in there. So yes, the Renegades do take some casualties. They upgrade out of those SMGs, though. They take an AK into the next round. And again, with no bomb plant from Complexity, the Renegades can lay back and just take it easy. It's going to be another easy round.
Exactly. On top of that, they recover the AWP that Shazam had, so they don't even need to invest in picking that one up. In this situation right now, Renegade's looking mighty fine moving into what will be a complexity force buy. If they have a very clean round here as well, Dallas, their money's going to shoot up tremendously.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a half buy because they can afford to do this. So the loss bonus is mounted up enough that they can comfortably do this and have weapons into the next round. So you see a MAC-10. Its little brother, the CZ, is in there as well. So they start streaming out, trying to come out in a mass effort, but JKS instead takes them all one at a time. Down to his sidearm as well. Think he can get this done all by his lonesome. Got him. Give him the ace. An easy one at that for JKS.
Yeah, fairly easy round. His complexity is just essentially trying to force the issue at ramp. JKS having full advantage throughout that situation, able to easily mow them down, and he's going to be sitting on 11-1 here 5 rounds into this game. Renegades really on fire here to start this first half off.
I like the way you said 11-1. I'm actually I'm gonna go the aviation way and say is Angels 11. 11,000.
I don't even know what that means.
11,000 feet, man.
You're too smart for me, man.
That's just terminology. There's nothing to do. All right, so Complexity are back on the train. They've gotten themselves AK and AWP up there as well. Their utility, unless they dumped an early salvo in this round, it wasn't full. They are bought quite a ways down, and now they're going to go for this secret stair smoke that comes towards the outside. Same hand being played by Complexity.
It's interesting here because Complexity, they aren't forcing it as quickly as they did in the previous rounds. We're only going to really see Def heading down here, as well as the remaining members now quickly catching up behind him. It does look like Complexity are going to aim for the exact same strat. 2 towards ramp. Last time we saw Ye by himself, but now he's going to get back up from Stanislaw, and 3 towards that secret stairs, trying to make this pinch onto the site happen.
That's right, and so can they make it execute? The players are down into the secret stairs, and the 2 players that were towards ramp room, Ye and Stannis, as you mentioned, still haven't moved. Not an inch. They're biding their time because they're now even more so important. They have the bomb carrier out here as well. Flashbang's going to lead the way. Ye's been tagged, and he's been rope-a-dope. JKS changes his position out. Great teamwork between him and Smooya as well to draw the attention towards Hell and then take those 2 easy kills. Nice return frag. That's going to at least keep Complexity afloat, but they have to retreat back to recover this bomb.
That's going to be the issue in the round. Renegades, well, Smooya's in a great spot here. Should be able to pick up 1. He does fall off, so that's going to give the opportunity for Complexity to actually come up just a little bit. And Shazam with a great shot onto Smooya puts it onto Jacob, and he's going to be able to find 1, but Sick does trade it out.
Well, Renegades now, even though it's a 2v2, Renegades have the clock to their favor right now. And you can see Liaz is playing this perfectly, but what a shot from Def. Now as a 1v2, he could interrupt this and just stop the bomb planter. It's going to go down right now, but look how wounded Def and Sick are, both sub 20 HP. There's the first shot. Azza now 1v2 clutch, looking to clean it up. That was the bomb planter. It's being planted all the way towards the old toxic area, so he has no information as to where Def may be.
It does look like he has an idea, so maybe he heard Def move down in towards this site, because it does look like he's pretty keen on clearing this little cubby area, and there's the Molotov coming out. This should be an easy kill. There it is. Azza is going to keep it going for Renegades and get them their 6th on the board here, Dallas.
That one got a little close. A little close. But Complexity's still not quite able to get it. Even if they were able to win that round, to clutch that out, having 1 player survive is the ugliest way to win a round.
Okay, and let's see how Complexity look at this round. They've got that money loss bonus starting to be built up, so they'll be able to buy like nothing ever happened in that round, but they got to start getting some on the board here, Dallas. I'd like to see maybe a fast inner rush, change the pace a little bit. They've pressed this issue towards the secret stairs, and they haven't found too much success. Well, no success whatsoever, to be honest. Yeah. So maybe inners where they want to poke, where they want to prod, where they want to peer on into to find their first round on the board.
Well, they did poke their head in there 1 round, but that was either an eco round or a force buy. I think it was their little force buy round where they had a MAC-10 and a couple pistols in there too. But this is really the bread and butter for Complexity. They keep running the same strategy. And finally, Renegades, they throw a Molotov in behind that lane, and that stops Complexity, stumps them a bit. That's something that Complexity haven't seen yet, but they still go the same route. Though previously, Ye has been over towards the ramp room. This time, though, he's still at the lobby, in the squeaky door side of things. So maybe there's something a little bit different about this strategy.
Ye, during this round, well, he's going to look to control the vents, but right now it's on Liaz here, who's hiding by decontamination, makes that initial contact, gets the nade off, and he will be falling back.
Yeah, wisely. Doesn't need to take this fight. Him just staying alive is going to force Complexity to burn the clock. They're going to throw a Molotov in here. It's not deep enough to be able to affect Liaz right now, but he's been painted into this corner, defending himself as he may. He does take down Def. Now JKS, who's been holding the ramp room rather well, he gets a 1 and done from his position. Still a man advantage, though, for the Renegades. Just still, the clock is going to be so valuable for the Renegades, keeping Liaz alive back there, allowing the rest of his teammates to maneuver into better positions. You can see Azza is leading the charge down this ramp.
Yeah, Complexity now have gotten themselves into post-plant scenario, but looking at it, they're not really set up for any crossfires, any trade kill opportunities, so it's going to be a big individual effort from all the Complexity players here if they want to make this round happen.
Yeah, this is where it's going to come down to aim. A nice smoke right now into the control room. Ye's got a great spot as well. He's able to take over Liez's position. They've got to touch the bomb. There's the spray through. Ye goes down instantly. Someone's going to have to hold on to this bomb, and Stannis going to get 2 for 1.
Huge.
Now Smooya, last man standing, looked to take a couple players with him if he could, but the Complexity are able to put 1 round on the board. The Renegades, though, they'll be able to brush that one off, no problem, going right back into the bank account.
That was huge from Ye, playing that little door opening right there, the little glory hole within the door there that he's going to take all of the advantage of right there and just take it down. Stanislaw comes in after those bullets get exchanged, and he's going to send through a double kill of his own there and put Complexity onto their first round.
Yeah, that bomb position and where that keyhole was opened in the door was just enough. He was crouched down, and if they touch that bomb, he knows their position, obviously, and he can strike from any angle, really. They just don't know what could actually happen. So now we see the next round. We're in the top of the 8th. Grenades have been thrown. Looks like Smooya picks off the first kill, and he's actually outside here. So Complexity have gone this secret stair, secret stair, secret stair. Now the op repositions, and Smooya puts his defense outside.
Ooh, a nice shot from Smooya onto Stanislaw. Now the man advantage situation goes into a 5-on-2. There's not really much for Complexity to be able to do in this situation here. It does look like a pretty clean-cut round. Final member of Def just hiding outside by this red box. Not really much opportunity for him to do much else, Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty painful way to win the previous round at that. Now you're able to, I mean, you're in a spot of a 1v5. It's just a good look, have fun situation. The Renegades so far have really put up some good numbers to start things off on their CT side. They're doing really well. But yeah, that little one-tap from Def was pretty. But there's so many angles. Looks like JKS will just clamber over his teammate's corpse, Liez, and take that next kill in return. So 7-1, and Complexity are still scratching their heads. I want to see a little bit more creativity from Complexity. We've seen their outside takes multiple times, but we haven't seen anything crazy. I'd like to see, if they're going to do this outside play, why not wrap around, throw an extra smoke, try and take mini, and try and hit that upper site.
It just feels like Complexity have really just got their head just, you know, pretty much cemented in the fact that lower's where they want to be attacking. Maybe they did some demo reviews on Renegades and they feel like lower's their more weaker point of entry, so they're going to try and exploit that, but it's not working right now, Dallas. They've got to decide on another plan, essentially, to get ahead here, and as freeze time comes undone, we are going to see another buy round come out of them, so maybe we'll see a different type of flow within this round. Maybe they're going to aim towards inner very quickly. Maybe it'll be an inner execute towards the latter parts of the round, maybe just the outside smokes to a very quick ramp take. Anything is possible, but Complexity needs to change it up.
Well, here's the thing. Renegades have also changed up their defaults. So in the previous couple of rounds, like I just mentioned, Smooya, when he was defending from the garage out there, and he picked off 2 players to start the round off. So Renegades are even mixing things up. Complexity are left questioning, well, what's going on the CT defense? What can they change that Renegades would be caught off guard? It's going to be a tough spot for Complexity looking at these rounds and looking at least the culture of where both teams are strategically right now.
Def with a nice shot onto Smooya, so this is a man advantage that Complexity haven't seen too often here in this first half. And I'm sure they're going to look to take advantage of it as the round is progressing. As we near the minute 20 mark on the round, it does look like Complexity, once again, will throw a couple smokes towards this outer area as you're seeing Stanislaw line his up towards T-spawn.
So, I mean, sure, Smooya just died. He got pieced out, but it's not the most impactful player on the Renegades.
No,
sure, you got a man advantage, but Smooya's impactful round was just last round with his own ops. So he got 2 of his 4 kills in that last round. So right now, Complexity actually looking to hit the upper side, it looks like, with 53 seconds. Yeah, they'll have plenty of time to be able to pull this one off. Jacob, though, point-blank range, looking for the first shot. He's in a one-and-done position, but he gets the first. And, in fact, looks like JKS is just playing janitor, cleaning up on the rest of those kills. They had the high ground. They had the heaven side of things. They had a little bit of control in the mini. They definitely had that one-and-done position just outside of the hut. Yeah, that stopped Complexity dead in their tracks.
I do like the idea from Complexity there to throw a couple of outside smokes, maybe draw those rotations over from the Renegade side towards the lower bomb site, and then go towards inner. But unfortunately, when they're executing on inner, they do it dry. No flashbangs. They go in pretty much just as they are with their guns out, and they get absolutely demolished. Why? Because Renegades, well, they had no pressure of being flashed off. They weren't mollied up into inconvenient spots. They just had to hold, get their frags, and that's exactly what they do.
Here's another change of pace. Smooya outside aggressive. right to the front of the red box, knocks out Def, who was the one to be able to get the kill against him. So a little bit of a revenge factor to that as well. And he falls back. The Renegades CT defense has been mixed and matched and changed almost every round in the past 3 or 4 rounds. So Complexity are still wondering how they can pull this off. Of course, this is just similar, a half buy from them, considering their economy will be able to bounce back in the next round with the max loss bonus still. But Complexity need to change something up drastically.
Oh, Smooya taking down Shazam now, and the final member Sick with that Mag 10. Unable to connect onto Smooya, so it will be 9 rounds on the board for Renegades. And you know what? Even looking at the scoreline, if Complexity are able to get, 3 more rounds as we move towards the end of this first half, they're in a good position moving on to CT side. The issue becomes if they end at that 13-2, that 12-3 mark, well, now it gets a little bit scary. 11-4 is pretty much the last kind of
I mean, to me, if you sure, the scoreline could rebound back for Complexity, but the way it's looking like to me, like these rounds have been so dominated by the Renegades, and strategically, it just looks entirely like the Renegades aren't showing signs of stopping, and it doesn't look like Complexity are in a position as well to make these decisions, to make these kills. But maybe something's changed. Liaz is able to trade back and 2 for 1, make it a 3 for 1 as well for Liaz. We've seen him defending in the lower sites as well. Now he comes up top and defends it from Mini, doing rather well. Shazam, last man standing, 1v4 with 16 HP, no bomb control, and give a little 2-3 piece between Liaz and Jacob there.
With still 3 rounds left in this first half, JKS is sitting on 20 frags already. The man is sitting at 20-3 here. We're not even done the first half.
Yeah.
He's on par to drop that 30 bomb.
If the game doesn't end too quickly, maybe.
I imagine if, well, it all comes down to what Complexity can get going into this, the end of this first half, essentially, Dallas. Sitting at a 10-1 scoreline, Complexity need to start putting some rounds on the board. We've seen them attempt to go towards Secret. We've seen, well, in the past round, they were looking for maybe a little bit of a heaven split. You saw them jumping around, trying to make it above that mini garage and going towards the under ladder area. They get stopped there. They tried the inner execute where they just essentially dried out. They got stopped there. So Renegades has an answer for everything Complexity's thrown at them right now. But what can Complexity do here to maybe get their second on the board?
Well, you were talking about JKS popping off. He popped off as well in the first part of the group stages a couple weeks ago and earlier in April. But he also had some cold spots out there as well. So you're hot, then you're cold, you're yes, then you're no. But right now he's absolutely on fire.
That's a great song, by the way.
I can't recall who sang Katy Perry.
Katy Perry,
there we go. Yeah. I didn't have it on top, like on the tip of my tongue. So that's
okay,
not really my cup of tea.
Complexity are going to change it up just a little bit, Dallas. They're going to change up their smokes and the way they're throwing it. They actually throw the wide smokes towards this outer area, and that's going to give them a little bit more room to actually wrap on that outside area. You're seeing them now taking this wide side as they go in towards Big Garage. Smooya catches the flashbang, able to get one though, Dallas. Sick thankfully trades it out.
So that 1-for-1 trade is, how much did that earn for you? You got a little bit of outside control. You still have to worry about what's going on in heaven up there as well. So you can see Shazam, he's giving respect to that defensive position that has laid low a couple players previous rounds from Complexity. So yeah, this is an okay trade for Complexity, but they're going to have to start to get the move on. Their utility is really dry. 2 smokes, that is it. They're going to choose to go down into the lower halls again, down through the secret stairs. And your defense down here is back to vanilla, I would say, for Renegades. This is what we saw early on in the half. It's going to be Liaz down here. Gets that first one, and the bomb instead goes around outside, trying to go the top down to the A site.
Yeah, JKS now, he isn't above this ladder. He's under it, so he's in a very disadvantageous positioning, essentially, where these players on Complexity are going to be able to slip right by. But Jacob, covering his teammates back, looking up towards that heaven, should be able to find one.
Yeah, the time's going to be against Complexity as well. The spray is good for 1, and then a little bit more Azza from range with that scope secures the 11th round. We haven't seen too much challenge against Renegades. When they're winning the rounds, they're winning them handily. Only 2 casualties usually on at most, so you can see the money is just blown up. They're not going to have any problems economically for the remainder of the half. Complexity have to make a stand right here and have to win out the half.
Yeah, if I'm Complexity in this situation, I think we get a little bit more free balling, play a little bit more faster, essentially. Pick up that pace, try and take it towards these Renegades players instead of letting the rounds develop, because every single time they've had these slow rounds, Complexity have really gotten shut down right away.
And I just heard the call as well that somebody has snuck down into the vents for the quick play. That's going to be Stanislaw. He's down into the control room right now.
This is huge.
JKS spots him, hits the target. He did take one to the head, but he is still kicking at 30-some HP. But is that enough for Complexity to decide to sink their teeth into the lower site? It has been an absolute drought out there in the lower site. They need to find an oasis quickly, and it's not looking like it's going to happen this round.
JKS now taking down Sick as well. Def did find Liaz towards that outer area, but aside from that, fairly simple round until Shazam takes down Smooya. That means the AWP is going to be recovered. And Shazam can do wonders with this weapon. Let's see if he gets into one of those wonderful rounds right here.
Yeah, that would have been nice too, but they denied him his first look into the ramp room with a quick smoke. Great reaction. And it looks like now Renegades will just reset themselves. Oh, Azza sees the bomb. He has control of this one as well. He's got a teammate right in behind him. In fact, it looks like they've got enough bodies here to have control of upper and lower. JKS, I believe, is the man below, and he's making sure that nobody makes their way through the site to come up behind ramp room. This is a really tough spot for Def and Shazam.
Shazam now just playing the edge of this smoke, looking for anything he might be able to find. Contact with Azza. Not able to pick up the frag, however. It does look like Complexity might be moving on towards a save here momentarily, Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to save the AUG unless you prefer it, really, but saving the off would be nice for Shazam, but he's not going to get that look. 13 seconds on the round. There's no chance to win it unless Def manages to pull off a miracle. He's got a chance. Jacob out in front, exposes himself temporarily. Renegades really set down. They just made all the sandbags around their foxhole, said, we are going to make a stand right here. Complexity almost pulled that round out of the hat.
Yeah, this is where it gets into those situations, though, Dallas, where you look at the scoreline and you're saying, well, even if we have a perfect CT side, it's really going to be a hard-fought battle for us to get back into this one, and that's simply because Complexity, well, when you're sitting on 1, 2, 3 rounds, you're not really giving yourself too much room to work with, especially if you lose pistol round going into the second half. So ideally, Complexity win this 12-3, and they have to take pistol round, that first gun round, and plenty of others to really stay competitive in here. If they don't pick up this round and Renegades move on to 13, well, this first map could be going very quickly towards the Australian side.
It really could, and if I'm not mistaken, this is Complexity's map pick, and it was predicted that they would take their own map choices and we would end up in a map 3, but the Renegades seem to be on point. Nice shot. We've seen this one play out before. Def gets the one tap against Smooya, and now they push their way outside. It is 1-for-1. Liaz is able to come back around. He's in no man's land right now with a tough spot to defend from, but Azza from Mini, catching Def completely by surprise. Just broadsided him from Mini.
Look at Sick, though. He's made his way under ladder here. None of the players on Renegades have any idea, and Sick able to find one.
Oh, man.
Liaz, though, does take him out. Sick wasn't anticipating Liaz to be playing lockers as well.
No, this is starting to get a little bit scrimmy out here. Everybody's winning 1-1s, but right now the teams stand at 2-2. The bomb is in hand by Ye right now, and he wants to take it into the upper site. Ye comes out as Shazam gives him cover, and they'll win that round. And you were saying that was a do-or-die situation for them right now, especially so, because their money wouldn't have been able to afford up into this last round. You would have seen pistols and armor, and maybe an SMG. But those two weapons are going to be welcome sights into this next one.
Really taking down that AWP of Smooya there to begin the round, that gave Complexity a lot of room to work with towards that outer area. You saw Def, he was moving around fairly freely, making his way towards that blue box essentially by the big garage, and he does get caught by Azza, but he was moments away from catching Liaz off as well there. So Complexity with a nice first pick to give them an opening in the round.
They use the smokes outside to get over top of those, and Def is searching for that kill against Smooya again, if he can find it. Smooya, though, has his op down in the lower halls. So everybody has been taking different roles on the Renegade side, one way or another, in the CT defense, and it has worked wonders. Complexity just haven't been able to adapt as to where Liaz has been defending from, or whether that's an A-site player inherently or a B-site player. Who knows? Smooya now outside, or making his way up the secret stairs to peek outside from these lower halls, but Def is here. He's usually gone way towards Def. As Smooya might have a big head as far as Def is concerned. He drops a smoke just at the right time, though, allowing Smooya to get into a position to make a fight. though he misses his first shot and falls back and retreating with a Molotov.
Wisely so. He can play those tight angles towards the lower stairs a lot better than forcing the issue towards that red box outside. So he's just going to hang out. He's going to let it develop towards the rest of the Complexity players. It's going to be Lias taking down Def in the smoke and JKS taking down Stanislav towards ramp. And now Lias is going to keep this train going as he takes down Sick. It's all onto Shazam, who's fighting to stay alive in the first half. I was expecting a lot more out of them. They just couldn't get anything going on their T side. By the time they ended up changing really their strategy and their approach towards rounds, from that secret approach towards trying to force that lower issue, it was just too late. The momentum on Renegades was too piled up. They couldn't be stopped. And I mean, JKS, what a tremendous performance out of him. As we move into the second half, he's sitting on 24-5, Dallas.
He did slow down. You mentioned that he had 20 kills with like 6 rounds to go, or even more. But now he has gotten a little quieter. There's the first kill and second favored to Complexity's side, as right now the Renegades are making their way into the lower halls. Sick does escape back up to the upper site, but this leaves Ye all alone, and he's going to need some help quickly. You can see them sprinting to try and support him as fast as possible. The smoke comes out. That'll give exit for Jacob. Ye now pinned in right now into the cubby, and he's going to need to fight this and win this. He got the first, and Sick gets the next as well. So Jacob's the last man standing. There are wounded players out there, but that smoke that came out from the double door side of things over towards the decon side did secure the bomb plant safely so. So Jacob, as far as he needs to do is just pick up a kill or two, and he's going to race his way back trying to get a quick flank. The bomb was already being defused at this point. Maybe he earns a little bit of cash. He does.
Does get taken down in the end by Sick, but Complexity have started this little comeback train going. It's starting to choo-choo, starting to get its wheels rolling. It's still a long distance before they make this happen. 10 rounds in a row is what they're going to need. Well, 10 rounds if they want to tie it up at 13-13.
Do you think they can? Do you think they can?
I think they can.
You think they can?
I never not believe, man. It's Counter-Strike. You always got to believe.
I mean, sure. It's just that there was so much pressure riding on that pistol round. I'm really happy that Complexity were able to get that done.
Yeah.
It's a deco, though, coming at him. And a great grenade so far to rattle the teeth of the Renegade side. So they're going to be wounded. Another grenade aired up over the top. It doesn't seem to land, though. Smooya out there, Azza as well. He's going to be the first point of contact or not. They pushed him into the corner, and he actually gets wall banged. It's a great shot. It's I mean, you can't guarantee that would ever really happen. That's something you can't rely on. But it has earned themselves a rifle. Well, short-lived. Smooya drops immediately as that touches his fingers, and only last man standing is JKS. So this round started out rather well for the Renegades, but they didn't really expect to win it. But I'd say getting 2 kills so far with the potential for more is a savory aspect.
Ooh, nice shot by JKS there, and at this point, they've done such great economic damage to the Complexity side. They're going to be happy with this round, especially because they're moving into a gun round following this. Well, we don't know if it's a round loss here. This could be JKS actually pulling off the upset. If he's able to take down Sick now, Stanislav's only on 18 HP, but Sick is able to take down JKS in the end. Gets Complexity their 4th round, but what a costly round it was for them. Yeah,
it really was. You saw the AUG get re-picked up at the very end by Sick. He'll hand that over to Ye, I believe. And right now the Renegades have been looking towards a brighter future, having AKs in play. That was really just right there. Removing the rifle, Ye getting that kill, and it also removes the extra angles that the Renegades were starting to open up, taking that outside control with a couple deagles. I just love the wall bang through Mini, though. That was pretty nuts.
That was great out of Jakem there, but it does look like a very fast inner attack from JKS is put to rest by Sick to start off the round for Complexity, and it's going to be Jakem making that initial contact with Ye and forcing him to cut back another angle.
Yeah, Ye's getting pushed further and further back. That flashbang is going to be the last thing he sees as they now take ramp room control with no real damage dealt. Now Shazam from control room gets a couple of headshots. Azza and Smooya are very, very wounded, but Lias, just as the door opens, a smoke is there, and that bullet will pierce that and Shazam's face. 4-on-4 right now, but can the Renegades hang on? They've got tons of utility to work with to delay, but with 4 players alive from Complexity, there's lots of angles they can start to abuse.
Ooh, Smooya in a great spot here. If Ye doesn't watch his back, I don't think he's going to anticipate the smoke. Smooya should be able to pick up a very easy kill here.
Should. There's the fade. He gets the conversion. Now a man advantage for the Renegades. Def searching, can't find the target either. Complexity have a couple last hopes, and it's going to be Stanislaw leading the way. The bomb on the other side of the site. He'll get 2 kills. Sick gets the next one as well. It's down to a 1v1.
Oh.
He searches for the bomb, but Jacob takes the last 2 bodies, and Renegades get it done. That was a 4-on-4 retake, but the Renegades having the utility, showing how important that utility can be.
Well, it really came down to, in the end there, Renegades, they had that double up towards Dark, and we see the first player on the Renegade side take that wide swing, go for that fight, and they're not able to connect on it. But because Jacob was also there, that was the last spot Complexity was anticipating the final Renegades member to be in, so Jacob picks up a very easy first kill, and then the Diffuser, well, he's going to be able to spray him down fairly easily through that smoke to get Renegades that much closer to this map 1 victory, and there it is.
There's only so many places he could possibly be. And the bomb's planted right into the corner of that site. There's nowhere else to be. He'll spam it and get it done. But you're talking about that first opening kill, just hanging out up there on the in the smoke, waiting for it to clear out.
That was huge.
He could hear the utility being thrown through that other side of the ramp door, and he just anticipated that. I mean, his mouth was watering at that point. He knew it was going to be his.
Yeah, it was a wise choice because most of the time you might see players get a little bit thirsty there for the frag and push out through the smoke, but he was anticipating. He's like, okay, I hear one person's utility. I don't know if a second person's there maybe defending him. I'm going to hang out and see how this one develops, and it developed in his favor as Smooya is able to start off that retake with a kill for his Renegade side.
Yep, and you can see already Complexity weren't able to get the ship above the water line comfortably enough. So they take that initial loss right there in the 3rd round, and they're already back down to Deagles, a 5-7 and a couple MP9s, and their utility doesn't speak for it either. So it's going to be a really tough spot for Complexity. You need to win this round. You really do.
Yeah, unfortunately, only having pistols and some SMGs going up against the side of Renegades here, who look very well equipped moving into this round. Complexity are going to have to hit some phenomenal shots to make this dream stay alive.
Can the dream become a reality? Right now, into ramp room. Def is here with just a little lowly MP9. He pops off a couple bullets and then falls back into the site. It's a difficult angle because it's so long. It's such a long fight for him. So now he just holds up underneath into the old toxic spot. Now Hazza leads his way into the site.
Okay.
There's the first kill to the favor of Complexity. The weapon's not recoverable yet, but he'll take that next fight. A little bit more chip damage has been dealt, but the body count remains the same.
Complexity have essentially taken this lobby now as JKS does take down Stanislaw. Yay here. Can he pick this one up?
Well, with Ye being here, Def is able to come up confidently as well into the lobby. A stray bullet lands into Def, but he is alive. Man advantage to Renegades, and that utility again going to speak volumes. The AK being recovered and likely saved for the next round.
Yep.
And it looks like Def is just going to back things out as well. He's got the head armor. That's going to be more important than the MP9. He should be able to afford up something for a teammate that can buy armor for themselves in the next as well.
Yeah, it was a fairly straightforward round out of Renegades. They started off with some early ramp pressure, actually pushed Def off towards that lower bomb site, then they swing it back towards lobby, try to pressure towards inner, where Sick picks up his first kill, and actually thought Sick was going to go into a little bit more of a passive play, allow the rotations to come in. But because Sick re-peaks the hut, Liaz is able to pick him up. That gives Renegades even more confidence now to move in towards that inner bomb site, and at that point, we're seeing the Complexity players taking lobby, but Renegades, well, they're just holding fast in this post-plant scenario. They're able to pick up some very easy kills.
Yep. So right now, you were highlighting JKS earlier. He's 27-9 right now.
He's getting
with,
it.
Just a single assist in there. So he's 3-1, and he's dominating. And he might hit that 30 bomb, but I was contemplating if the game would end before he even gets to that point. He needs a 3K on the round if they are Renegades to win it to hit the 30 bomb. And the Complexity aren't looking all too pretty. They've got a lot of utility to work with.
Look at Stanislaw right now. He's actually made his way behind enemy lines, able to take down Liaz first off the bat as it takes down Sick. Def will take down Jacob, and finally Stanislav will go down.
Well, this is the puggy idea that Complexity got that one round off early on in the first half, and if this continues to stay puggy, maybe they got themselves a chance. You've got a healthy player and a wounded player on both teams, but that healthy one just died, leaving Ye all alone. He's got 3 grenades, an AK in hand, and he's going to peer outside and see nothing. So he did not gather the intel whether the Renegades went back towards the lobby or they went down through the stairs.
Does look like he's going to gamble it and head towards the lower here. He's walking the entire way. Okay, now he is beginning to run as he does hear the nades being thrown from the Renegade side. He will be able to make it down in towards this site.
He's got one shot. Oh, JKS only needs one shot instead.